or something like that.
Well, I'll tell you what. Thank you, SEC. We are officially here. But that, like, let's not. I think that AJ, and you know this, AJ, you've played at every level of football. You play very well at every level of football. Winning is the hardest thing to do.
It is.
You did that today.
Very much.
So we're not gonna have this. Oh man, I wish we could. No, bro. There's a lot of stuff to fix, and we know that. We know that there's a lot of things to fix. But at the end of the day, you did the absolute hardest thing to do in this sport, and that is win the game. You won.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, then we'll act like it.
I didn't say nothing.
Sorry. I apologize.
But Aaron, give me your quick thoughts on today.
Want to know.
There you go.
Want to know.
Say it like you mean it, AJ.
That's all that matters.
Say it like you mean it, AJ.
There's a W in the win column.
Okay.
Doesn't matter how it happened. Doesn't matter how it looked. As long as we got it there.
It's a row win in the SEC.
What would you rather the most beautiful loss in the world? Like I'm so confused.
No, we're 5-2.
You're 5-2.
We're still on course to do what we need to do.
Okay.
But now let's unpack this and talk about it. And folks, if you're out there listening, get your comments in and let us know your thoughts, or if you have questions, we'll get into those in a little bit. We're going to take it through the offense, the defense, and the special teams. Shout out to Derrick Joe back there, our producer, for always taking care of us and making things sound good and look good. The yardage situation is not a pretty one.
Yeah.
Texas ended up with 179 total yards, 132 passing, and 47 rushing. Kentucky ended up with 395 yards, 258 passing, 137 rushing. Kentucky held the ball for 39 minutes and 23 seconds. Texas held the ball for 23 minutes and 37 seconds. If you cover up the score there and you look at the stats, you would assume Texas got their butts kicked.
Absolutely.
But our defense took care of business when it needed to be. Our defense was on the field longer than it should have been. We'll get to that. Let's start with the offense side of the ball. At the offensive side of the ball, I think that's going to be the hardest thing to unpack. Arch Manning, 12 of 27, 132 yards, averaged 4.9 yards a pass, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Trey Wisner was our leading rusher with 13 carries for 37 yards, averaged 2.8 yards a carry and 1 touchdown. It looks like they did credit him with the touchdown. I didn't know if they credited DJ Campbell on the recovery.
Yeah.
Our top receiver was DeAndre Moore with 3 catches for 37 yards. And that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, not real pretty, but I think we already discussed that. We'll take an ugly win. There's a lot that we have to fix here. It's one of those, man, we look so inconsistent. We look very inconsistent. Like the time when the receiver was open, we either don't have the time or the ball's not getting there. And then when there's an opportunity, another time when the receiver's not open, then it's like, all right, the receiver's not open. We got to do something with the ball. And then it's like, oh, if he would have had just 2 more seconds to even 1 more second to even get that one off, then that would have been a complete. We just can't take our turns making mistakes, which it felt like tonight was hard. Tonight was a hard night. Like everything we were trying to do felt hard. Even like you just said, you didn't even know that they credited Trey with the touchdown. Even scoring.
Yeah.
Was hard. Everything was hard. Like and it's like that sometimes, unfortunately. And I think that we would have more grace for the offense if this was an outlier. If this was like the first time, if there was a hiccup here. Do not take this out of context. I love you all. But had this been a Colt McCoy led team that's playing Nebraska and all of a sudden just is not scoring that night, you give more grace there. You know what I'm saying? But we've been here before. We've seen this kind of more often than not throughout the year when playing super competitive teams, is that, man, we sputter. We sputter. So we got to figure out our identity, what we love that we do, and then we have to find ways to do that. The talent is there. The players are young on that side of the ball, but they're growing up week by week. But we, and shout out to the offensive line. It was not pretty, but they hung in there. They really did hang in there. We just, man, it's tough. It was tough sledding tonight. But that's why it's 3 phases to this game.
Well, I think these stats are really, really telling. We were talking about these before we came on the air. Texas had 14 total drives. Our average time of possession was 2 minutes and 32 seconds.
Yeah.
We had 0 drives of 70 yards plus. 4 1 minute or less drives, 4 3-and-out drives. Let's see, what was the average third down distance? 7.8 yards. Drive success rate 41%. Our average number of plays on the drive was 4.
Yeah, we got to figure out a way to stay on the field. How many first downs did we have in the second half?
I think we had 2.
Yeah, well, that tells you.
And when you unpack that, this defensive performance becomes even more special.
Elite.
And so I know people were complaining that they allowed a field goal at the end of regulation. That defense was on the field like the whole entire game.
Yeah.
And this is another telling statistic, and then I want to hear from you, Aaron, is our final scoring drive to win the game in overtime. 4 plays, -2 yards, and a 45-yard field goal. So
and a win for the good guys.
Yep.
Yeah. And a win for the good guys. You're not about to make me feel bad about a win. I will never feel bad. I will my internal. It's tough. It is tough. It's tough sledding, man. But let's talk about the defense. Let's talk about the defense.
Well, let's let Aaron get to. I want to hear Aaron's thoughts.
Here we go.
Yeah. Since I know you didn't have much to say about the offense, so let's get.
I don't play offense. That's not my forte.
You didn't pay attention.
Yeah, I only talk about what's in my lanes, and this is in my lane. We were on the field. Kentucky was on the field 40 minutes. That's entirely way too long. We allowed a lot of yards, but we were on the field.
Yep,
95% of the time. So what do you expect? But to have the stats, what it is, 40-minute possession, 395 yards total, 258 yards passing, to then only giving up 13 points. I'm happy about that any day. And it really was the defense holding it down. I mean, we got put in a couple bad field positions, but thankfully, that's the thing about defense. We worried about what we do. You know what I'm saying? As long as we protect what we need to protect, which is that end zone, we have a chance. And that's one of the good things about having a good team, is having a really good defense. That's the start of it. Now, we're still finding some pieces that we need to find on the other side of the ball, but I mean, I'm enjoying the defense. I can't. There's a lot I want to say. I mean, Simmons was everywhere.
Yeah.
Anthony was flying, 12 tackles a day, 8 solo.
Simmons with 3 sacks.
Taff was all over the field. Malik was making plays. I mean, the guys that we keep saying week in and week out are consistently doing the jobs, and that's what matters in having a really good defense. So I'm really pleased. We need to continue this. Our identity right now is our defense. Let's just be honest about that.
Yep, no doubt.
That and our special teams. And special teams did a heck of a job giving our offense a good opportunity to put points on the board. And luckily we have a really good kicker as well. So
yeah, took care of business. Yeah, like you got into it a little bit. 3 sacks for Colin Simmons, 1 for Malik Muhammad, 1 for Trey Moore. So it ended up with 5 sacks. Ant had, you said it, led the team in tackles with 12 and had that insane interception right after he got hurt too. The defense is special. And I think that as long as you have that, and this isn't sunshine pumping, because this was not pretty. We're not happy, but we won.
Yeah.
Right. As long as you have a defense like this, you're going to be in most games.
Absolutely.
And the fact that you could put the defense on the field that long today and still take care of business and win.
Not just take care of business. How did we win? 4th and goal inside the 1 in overtime.
Yeah.
And mind you, they've been on the field, like we said multiple times. They've been on the field all night.
Yeah. 1st and goal from was it the 2?
Yeah. And you end up 4th and goal from inside the 1.
Yard.
And yeah, man,
their last drive.
I love those. I love those type of those scenarios, the situations that you really just like, who has the bigger nuts on that play? You know what I'm saying? Honestly, because it's like 4th down is overtime. I think they're on the 1 or 2.
Inside the 1.
Inside the 1.
Yeah.
So it's like, all you gotta do is stick your arm.
That's it, right?
You're scoring.
Yeah.
So for them to pull out the turnover on that 4th down play was phenomenal. Huge play for us. Obviously gave us the opportunity to go out there and win.
Talk about what you saw in that last play that I don't think a lot of people caught with Jelani.
Oh my goodness. Yo, shout out to Ford, my dog.
Jelani McDonald.
Johnny, you are balling, my guy. And I see why you weren't number 4. But if you go back on that play, right? as soon as you see that running back dive and for the end zone, try to stretch the play out. If McDonald doesn't grab his legs and stop his momentum, we might have a different conversation.
Right as he was jumping,
right as soon as he
grab those
legs, and it put up a big stop. And that's what being a playmaker is.
Yep.
And it's not always about pick sixes. Two interceptions. It's about making the key plays when the time presents itself. And that's a key stop. I'm telling you, if that don't happen, we might be here moping right now. But coming to a huge play like that, it's phenomenal. And shout out to Ford, man. Keep doing you.
Well, hold on one second, man. We are recapping number 21 Texas' 16-13 overtime victory over Kentucky. Shout out to everyone who's listening out there on 1300 The Zone, streaming, etc. And we're going to continue. I know, Hills, you got something to say, and then I'm going to get into the other very key part of the game, the special teams. But if you guys have comments, questions, get those in. If you have super chats, we'll make sure and get to those and make sure they go straight into Derrick Joe's pocket. So for volunteering and helping us out.
One thing you always want to see, especially from a struggling offense that has like a phenomenal defense, right? Is that we say every drive ends in a kick, whether it's a field goal, an extra point, or a punt. We always end the drive kicking the football. And that is one thing that this offense did do successfully tonight. How many turnovers did we have?
Zero.
There you go. We made them go the long way. Every single drive went the long way except for one where we were pinned back, and then we end up punting. They got a little bit of a return, and I think they got it right around midfield, and that's the one where they had the touchdown drive, right? Every other, and mind you, we only had the ball for 20 minutes. So for 40 minutes plus of this football game, they had to go the long way. And we have shown it is very hard to do that against our defense. So like knowing that, I'm saying like, hey, we didn't do a lot right, but we did not put them in a bad position. We put them in most of the time we had them in an advantageous position. Now, I know them boys gonna be in the cold tub. I know they're gonna have to get those massages that come tomorrow and Monday. They played a long physical football game, but we did not put them in a disadvantageous position, and not being at a disadvantage. We got a chance tonight to see just how hard it is to go the distance on this defense.
Have you ran for 40 minutes before?
Have
you sprinted for 40 minutes?
I guess.
Do you understand? I don't think people understand how hard that is to be on that field for that long. Because what the advantage is for offense is that they're able to tap that head and get substitute out. When you're a cornerback, when you're the safety, when you're D-line may have a couple of guys.
I'm about to say the D-line ain't notorious. D-line notorious.
When you're a linebacker, your butt is on that field the duration of the entire time that the defense is out there. So to run 40-yard sprints for 40 minutes, it is hard to win. I mean,
it's hard to win.
It's hard to win
and that's why I was saying at the top of the show, I'm like, hey, fellas, we have one objective: win the football game. And you
Aaron,
did that.
When that does happen, like you get off the field, you finally get off, and it's like 3 and out, and you look up and you're like, I got to put my helmet back on. Like, when does it ever come to the point where you guys start chirping at the offense? Like, you guys got to get it together.
And Jay Hills has been there where we've had.
Wait a minute.
Jay Hills, and it's not just defense going to offense. It's the same thing as if it was reversed. Offense has come to our side and say, hey, let's pick it up. We're doing our job. We need you guys to. There's nothing wrong with keeping each other accountable. So that definitely comes when you come on the field. Yo, we're tired. At some point, we need some type of help. So I'm not saying the whole defense goes on the other side. But your leaders, Michael Taft, Simmons, and somebody, one of those 3 guys, go over there and say, hey, guys, pick it up. Let's go. Yeah. Something. Not to derail what they're doing or trying to belittle anybody, but at the end of the day, we have a job to do, and we're doing our job. We need to pick up just a little bit.
Sure.
Pick up a little bit.
And a lot of times, like, what you normally see is a guy like an AJ comes over there, and he said, hey, y'all get it together, and then that's not the last thing he says. He's gonna say, but we got y'all.
We got y'all.
We got y'all.
Same thing.
Hey, y'all figure that out, but we got y'all. They not scoring no more.
Well, and they clearly had him tonight. Yeah.
When that guy leaves, you turn into your offensive line. You turn into you like, hey man, they've been on the field too long. Like we got it's on us.
It's
right?
a leadership thing. It's not a more like an attack. It's not like, hey, get your stuff together. It's more like, hey, we know you're struggling, but pick it up. But at the end of the day, just know we got y'all's back, regardless of what happens at the end of the day. So I feel like that's what's going on the defense side. They're doing a phenomenal job. I don't want to keep knocking down the offense. They know what they're doing is not acceptable, nor is it the standard at the University of Texas. But you got to call a spade sometimes. And to become a better team, we know that the offense is struggling. At this point, it's like now we're just trying to find identity.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about one guy on the other side doing a job. It's the O-line, it's the tight end, it's the receivers, it's the running back, and it's a quarterback. It's a whole at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. But there is a third phase to this game, Nick.
Well, and I think thank you for that transition there. I appreciate that. Well, I think one more key stat before we get into special teams, and this will transition into that. But our average start position on offense was our own 38, which is phenomenal field position.
Think about that.
To only get 16 points.
So we're starting at our own 38.
Yeah.
They had one turnover, the interception to Anthony Hill.
Yeah.
So that means overwhelming majority of their drives also ended in a kick.
Yep.
But if we're starting on our 38, what does that mean?
It means
they're pinned deep back, and they can't drive down the field.
And so that will take us directly into special teams. Their average starting position for Kentucky, their own 26-yard line. And let's open with special teams. Jack Bomeister, who had 8 punts today. It's never a great thing when your punter has 8 punts. Averaged 42 yards a punt, but that is deceiving because he had 6 of 9 of those punts inside the 20.
That's
which is a game.
I don't have confirmation, but it's the internet saying that he was wearing his third Longhorn T-shirt.
No, absolutely.
Shout out to Bomeister. He went on our online store and bought the shirt. He's the man.
And then you see, look, Bomeister, you see what kind of game you had when you did that thing. You see what kind of game you had after you did the thing. That's all I'm saying.
And he had 3 punts of 50 plus, and the reason his average was so low today was because of all the pins.
Because he was pinning them back,
which is fantastic. Mason Shipley did the thing today. He was 3 for 3, took care of business when he needed to, had a 53-yarder, a 39-yarder, and the 45-yarder to win it. He was great. Let's talk about Ryan Niblett. Niblett changed the entire game. He had 2 punt returns for 88 yards. He averaged 44 yards a return with a long of 45. And I know he's kicking himself for not scoring on that first one, but the kid's exciting. And he's finally starting to catch the ball in the punt returns, and he's doing a great job of that. And when he does, he is dangerous.
Pause for a second and think about complementary football. Even with when one of the 3 phases is struggling, just complementary. My contribution as an offense is I ended this drive in a kick.
Yeah.
We then special teams comes out, the punt team comes out. Bomeister pins them deep, really deep. Trey almost gets a safety. They end up basically trying to throw the drive away. They end up punting it, and what do? We didn't take that punt and almost run it all the way back. Right? That's the one where he almost ran it all the way back.
Correct.
That is how nothing is in a silo. It all works together. It literally all works together. What if the offense turns it over and now they get starting field position close to midfield? What if the punt team doesn't execute the punt the correct way and now they're not pinned back that way? What if the defense can't push them back and make them go 3 and out? And then the punt return team doesn't set up with the blocks the correct way, and now we give a playmaker the opportunity to make that play, and then the offense cashes in on it. So when I'd say I keep coming back to it, man, it is hard to win, and it takes all 3 phases, and that's what it looks like sometimes. Now, defense gives you that many opportunities with the ball. You got to do something with it. We know that, but as we are going to continue to get better, we're going to have to lean on those other 2 phases, and those other 2 phases stepped up big time today. You think about what you were just talking about with Niblett. I mean, he had a long of 45. He had a long of 45. He only touched it twice, and he had 88. That means one was 45, the other was 43. This kid's touching the ball. He touched the ball twice, and it resulted in 10 points.
Yeah.
Think about that.
That's huge.
That's huge.
Yeah,
that's huge. So special teams really, really, really stepped up today. We can't brag on this defense enough. Offense, we got to get it going. We just got to find our identity. We're going
to get into comments. We're not getting into this yet, but this G-Town Eagle 76 has a great one. He said, can we mail Arch a 3rd and Longhorn shirt? See if he gets the bump.
Send me the address, G-Town.
Yeah. Hey, G-Town, I'll tell you what, man. You go ahead and you buy that and you send it up here, and we'll see what we can do, man. We'll see if we can get it to it for you.
Yeah, it's it's a tough game to unpack, but at the end of the day, you won on the road in the SEC and you took care of business. And we haven't said one thing yet, and I know no one will cover this, and I think it's important to say, is that Kentucky played a great game.
Absolutely.
Like they did. Look, they didn't make the plays at the necessary moments to win the game, but they played their butts off.
Yeah.
And I think that I think they surprised us a little. And
Kentucky's good for that at least once a year. What was it
I
last
mean,
year? They took Georgia. They took Georgia to the wire last year. What was it? 12-10 was the
like
final on that
10,
one.
I think.
Yeah.
Honestly, for Kentucky, there's nothing for you to go out there and be nervous about. You're already selected to lose the game anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still disheartened about this game only because of this. We allow this is the reality me coming in now. Okay.
Let's bring it.
We're playing a Kentucky team who was 0-3 in conference. I think they were 2-3.
They were
2-3.
They're 2-4 now.
Yeah.
And we allowed 329 total yards.
395,
even worse. 40 minutes of possessions. Gave away that one turnover, and we're playing Kentucky. That's why we feel the way we feel.
Right.
It's the same argument we had when we played San Jose State. Same argument we had when we play UTEP. Yes, they're an okay team. I'm not even going to say they're a good team because they're really not that good of a team. It's for whatever reason when we play in Oklahoma, we'll play above Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But when we play teams that we know we're supposed to beat, for whatever reason, I don't know why, it's like, okay, we can slack off a little bit. And a good team never slacks off. Once you have your foot on the throat, you don't let go. Because you never know. He might get up and start whooping ass at the same time. We have to figure out a way to just go out there, man, and just dominate. Like, it's so hard to just watch Arch throw. It's hard to see the connection between him and Moore. It's hard that Livingstone didn't get. I don't think he even got a reception.
Let me say that one target. He did not have a reception. I believe one target total.
And it's like we can't keep giving excuses away. This is the University of Texas, and we're in the SEC now. And we just came back from 3 years of having a really good, an overall good team. This is unacceptable to go and win 16-13. I don't care if it's on the road or not against a team like Kentucky. We can say they're a good team. We can say they play hard. Of course they play hard because they're playing the University of Texas. Anybody when you played SC or when you played Oklahoma or when you played A&M, your family members are watching and you knew it was game time. But when you have teams like Kentucky, it's like teams like this is like a stat game. I'm excited to play teams like this because I'm going to get my stats up. I'm going to be a Michael Taft and get 10 tackles. I'm going to be a Collins and get 12 tackles and an interception because these are the games that we are expected to have those type of stats against this team. If we play another team that's even better than Kentucky, it's even worse than what we're talking about now.
I think it's a maturity thing a little bit.
For sure.
Yeah, like
100%.
I mean, I'm not there every day. I don't know I don't know how to accurately compare preparation from one week to the other. I'm just looking at the final product that's on the field, right? But that said, yeah, it's we got to grow up. We have to grow up. We have to grow up.
Well, I think this bad taste in our mouth about the offense is against OU. We had that first drive of the third quarter where the offense came out, took the ball straight down the field, and scored. And now it's a game change. We did not have a drive like that.
There was no flashes.
There was nothing.
There was okay, we have a chance to start a momentum.
We have one big play to Emmett Mosley.
But you said it earlier. Like you said, our average third down yards to go was almost 7.8 yards is what you said. Fellas, I don't know what playbook y'all have, but 3rd and 8 or more, it ain't a whole bunch to call.
Not a whole lot.
It ain't. When you're looking down at that sheet, that list starts getting smaller and smaller, right? So, and then also, you do know that I got this defense, right? So a little bit of it is, let me punt it and pin them deep.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Sark definitely did that.
Yeah.
I feel like in other games he's gone for it, and I think he recognized the situation today of like, we're not clicking.
Yeah.
Let's punt it. There were times where we could have tried Mason a couple times on field goals.
But if we're not clicking right, let's take chances.
Yeah.
Like if we know our defense is what they are, which is elite, Man, I haven't seen not one throw like ball past 20 yards yet. And I don't understand. Like we have fast guys on the outside.
Yeah, there were no.
But
some
of it,
today.
fellas, some of it. Like, let's be honest. It's not the. I say this all the time. If guys are not open at all, then let's start looking at scheme. But when guys are open, I'm no longer talking about the coach.
But what do you say to if the scheme's not working? Let's give our athletes a chance to make a play.
I think you know this true, AJ. Every game is so different.
100%.
In the makeup of the game, kind of how it unfolds is so different from week to week. So like what you thought you were going to get versus what you're actually getting versus the wrinkles that are there versus what we thought was going to work versus what's actually working versus nothing is working. I genuinely believe that like we got to a point where we went to a more conservative play call, understanding that
I hate that.
that's fair, but
man.
when I'm just stating an observation. We made our way to a more conservative play call that lent itself towards, I know you can't go 90 yards down the field.
Yeah, somebody did make a good point on here. It just went off the screen, but we did have that one. There was one deep shot to Wingo that we got the pass interference.
Yeah, we got the PI on it. Yeah,
but yeah.
You ever just thought like, Coach Sark, man, throw a Hail Mary up to Moore and see what happens. Like, you ever just thought about just looking at the outside matchups and being like, man, I'm just gonna throw the ball up. The run game ain't working. Our passing game scheme is not working. Our game plan ain't working.
Look for a penalty.
At some point, bro, throw the ball up and play backyard football.
AJ is a true DB.
Like,
AJ is a true DB.
Here's
AJ said,
I don't hate it though. Wingo or Moore.
Yeah, I mean, I get it.
You got a 6'3" guy.
I had a quarterback in Buffalo, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Love him to death. And the reason why people gave him a lot of slack was because he would just throw the ball up to Stevie Johnson and just to see what would happen. And it's like sometimes when you're paying a guy and we're now the NIL deals is now we're paying you for this certain amount of reason. Man, sometimes you just need to be like, man, our guy is better than his guy. Throw up the ball, man.
That's fair. I'm not gonna say that thought ain't real. That's fair. But again, y'all, like there were times when you would look at this tape and say the guy is open.
Yeah.
The ball has to get there.
Yeah.
There were other times where you look at this tape and you say the guy is open. We just got to give him one more second to actually throw the ball. So I don't know if I'm ready to have this whole scheme conversation yet. It's not like the guys ain't open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do you want Sark to go take the football and hand it to what do you expect?
And Arch had a tough day. Like you can't get.
And I'm not just talking about 16. Yeah. Like there were times where 16 has to be able to step up in this pot. We got to hold up a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know,
that's been his flair, and the thing he's been best at this year is getting outside the pocket or avoiding that first line of the rush, getting out, making a play. We didn't have a lot of that.
What happened to bootlegs, man? What happened? Like, we're getting away from I'm just thinking in my head right now, like I haven't seen him do a bootleg. I haven't seen an option or RPO. I haven't seen none of that stuff.
RPOs typically work when the run game is established. We struggle mightily with the run game.
But the interesting thing is we went so far away from the run game in the first half against one of the worst, not worst, but a bad run defense in Kentucky.
Yeah.
It surprised me a lot. I thought we'd try to establish Wisner a lot more.
Try to establish him a little bit more. Yeah. I won't argue that. I won't argue that at all. I'm just thinking, like, as far as like the scheme itself, I don't think there's a coach alive that calls a perfect game. They're always going to want one or two back. I think that when Sark looks at the tape, there's going to be some plays he'll want back. At the same time, my eyes work. There were times that there are guys open.
Mm-hmm.
Sark, you did your job. I'm looking at the rest of my guys here in the burnt orange jersey and the white jerseys. I'm saying, fellas, we got to hold up a little bit more. Hey, guy. Hey, you, all-star. I got to get that ball to him. You know what I mean? I'm looking at those wideouts and I'm saying, hey, it ain't going to be perfect every time. You get two hands on it, you got to catch it. Like I feel like we, as just position by position, we took our turn making our mistake. And then you add that up. Remember AJ on Sundays, Greg Davis, I don't know. Well, the defense wouldn't be out there. No, y'all wouldn't be out there. I just thought about it. Well, on Sundays after the game, we could put up 45 points, and it didn't matter. We had a thing called MAs, mental assignments, and like if you had a mental assignment error, they would call it out on tape, and you would be assigned your like play number 42. Gun right jack was called. I was supposed to do and I didn't do this. And we would literally Sunday after the game, we would go down to DKR and we would run sprints, and then we would circle up and we would have up downs as an offense. Like, I don't get the opportunity or the luxury to say I only messed up twice, because if that guy says that guy says that, he says that, and then he says that, you look up and those are 12 plays of the 50 that we called that were screwed up off of nothing else other than you not doing your job. So that's why I'm saying it's like, I think we just got to grow up a little bit on that side of the football specifically and just do our job.
Well, tell me this, and I'll pose this to you, Hills, because you're on the offensive side of the ball. How do you fix what's going on?
It's tough because you get to a point where it's not much talking that's going to fix this. You usually start seeing those leaders leading in whatever way is necessary. And then eventually, if you still don't see it fixed, you start seeing different jerseys in there. That, like, if you're not going to do it, somebody else is, right? So like that, AJ, like, I'm curious.
Now I have a very interesting question for you. Remember last year we took Quinn out because he wasn't playing very well
Against
Georgia.
Is AJ in the comments? Because we get a lot of those right now.
I'm just wondering, because when you make a move like that to a guy that was actually putting in some work, to a guy that's prominent standard was to go above and beyond, but it's not meeting that standard, why don't we take him out for a series or two? I think to calm him down, or
I was just about to say, I think even with Quinn's, if you really stop and think about it, we pulled Quinn for a series. I think it may have been 2 series. Yeah. And then he played the rest of the game. And I remember
right before half.
It was right before half. And I specifically, I hope somebody in the comments can find the video. I was at that game and I watched Quinn. Coach Sark pulled Quinn next to him. And as they were calling the offense with Arch playing, he was talking to Quinn. You could tell the entire point of him pulling Quinn was to get him to slow down and see the game. Yeah. It was not to yank him.
Well, when are we going to allow him to see the game as well?
But again, though, I'm like, there's a difference in not seeing the game and then the ball not getting there.
What's the difference?
Well, one is, hey, you should have went there with the ball, versus, hey, I need you to complete. Well, you went to the right place with the ball. You got to complete.
And if you're like, he was struggling with his accuracy a little bit, I tend to agree with AJ a little bit about, like, pull him over, calm him down.
Just calm him down. I'm not saying, like, don't
it's not
start
your
him.
bench. And I don't think there was any part of Quinn that thought when he got pulled, I'm going to be benched for the rest of the game.
You know what I'm saying?
But I think Arches should feel safe enough to know.
Yeah.
But then again, Quinn had a little bit more maturity.
As he was older, he has seen a lot of ball.
I mean, like, the kid gloves are off with Arch now as a quarterback. You know what I mean? He's gone. He's had 6 games or 7. Wait, where are we at? 5 and 2, 7 this year and 2 last year. Yeah. So he's had 9 plus a couple plays in a few other games. Like,
that's fair. But I think the one of the distinctive differences between these 2 scenarios is I grab this guy because his eyes are wrong. He's going to the wrong place. Georgia had us in a blender. He did not know where to go with the football. Versus this guy, I'm like, hey, son, I've seen you complete that pass before. Slow down and throw it to him. Yeah. Like those are 2
just like take a breath.
Completely different.
Yeah. And like, to be fair, they kept Arch in the blender too when he came in.
Facts. You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but also, like,
he's talking about Georgia last year. No, that first game he did.
But also, Sark, as a former quarterback, he can probably recognize, hey man, let's give him a blow and, like, come out.
It's a fair thought. Well, Oh, go ahead.
Man,
But I think it all starts up front, man. Like when and I mean this super respectfully because like Flood has been phenomenal as a coach. Not even like he's just been phenomenal since he's been here. Right now, this is probably the biggest projects as an offensive line that I've seen Texas have to put together, piece together, and work through and get them to grow than I've seen over the last couple of years.
Would you call it a crossroads?
I mean, and it's tough, man. You didn't have your starting center tonight. Like it's a
That's
lot
the part we didn't cover.
It's
That's
a
huge
lot
deal.
going into this, guys. It's not just. I would love for it to be as simple as, man, I want him to play better. I mean, yeah, I want to throw the remote too, but I'm saying slow down. There is so much happening that is not having us in an advantageous place. Now, it's not an excuse. It's just a note that we need to make. And so what I would love to see is not what we've seen tonight in the sense of like, oh, we went super conservative, but we are going to be we're going to be a little bit more conservative. Think about it. Even with the most successful, consistent offense that we've seen this year against a competitive team was OU. And you look at our yards per attempt that game, I think it was like 6.4.
Mm-hmm.
Like the ball's coming out quicker. You know why the ball has to come out quicker? Because I don't want those guys having to hold up as long.
Right. Well,
Like,
I don't know if anyone caught that on the side. They flashed to the sideline. Cole Hudson was on crutches. Which means that there's a good chance we might not have him next week.
Agreed. Like, and so like, think about this. Like a lot of where the calls come from, the protection calls, a lot of the times they come from the center, right? Especially when you have a younger quarterback. Now, younger quarterback does have the ability to make the calls himself, but the center is going to be the one that you put a lot of that responsibility on. You already have an offensive line that hasn't gelled yet because they haven't played a ton outside of your right guard. Your right guard has played a lot of football. Everybody else has played some level of college football.
Well, and people keep forgetting that line we had last year, they played together.
They
played together
like
for
that.
so long.
I think
Jake Majors
that's
was
the frustrating part is that like you had a top 10 left tackle.
Yep.
You had Jake Majors has played more starts than anybody at the University of Texas. You got the right guard that you got now was the right guard you had last year. And then you got the other two draft picks at left guard and right tackle.
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, this is a different thing.
It takes a second for that gel to happen. Yeah, and if you think back, there were years where we were frustrated with that line too when they were still figuring it out. And so this is the first year. It's not an excuse, but it doesn't just happen overnight.
And that's why I'm going to look at this and I'm going to say we won the game. Because I think like this expectation that you're going to walk in and blow everybody out. Hey, let's taper that expectation. I want every week for us to go 1-0.
Yeah.
And if it and I'm telling you, if it means that our defense holds them to 13 points and that our punt return team puts us in position to score the points that we do, guess what? I'll take it over a loss.
Yeah.
That's not going to consistently happen week in and week out, though.
No, it's not. But like we talked about and we agreed earlier, every game is its own story. So if I can just count on my defense and I can count on my special teams and I can not turn the football over and let these stories unfold week by week, I'll take that. It's because this side of the ball has to grow up. Unless you're going to bench everybody and trade, like, what are you going to do? They got to grow up.
Yeah. And we got a tough one next week.
Yeah, you do.
There's going to be some.
We got a tough one every week.
That's true. Yeah. There's not an easy game.
Hey, guess what?
Was the easiest team we play this year.
Now we talking. Now we talking. So look, buckle up.
Yeah.
This stuff is going to be tough every single week. And the goal is to go 1-0.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, y'all want to get into the comments?
Oh man, I can
love it.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Well, we are recapping number 21 Texas's 16-13 overtime victory over Kentucky. I'm joined by Jeremy Hills, Aaron Williams, Mark Higgins, Derrick Joe on the ones and twos back there, and my name's Nick Shuley. So let's get into these comments. First off, shout out to our guy Cuts, who he actually made the wood carvings that usually hang up there. Dude's awesome, based in San Antonio. Cuts by Jones. If you haven't seen it, he makes some killer stuff. Dude gave us a $20, $19.99 shout out here. He said this is not NIL money. This is to keep the lights on. Good show, homies. Thanks, Cuts.
Appreciate it.
He's the man. We appreciate
That's
you.
funny.
And then shout out to Casey Taylor, too, who's always doing super chats with us. Says, this team makes me drink. Hey, me too.
Just
Casey, you are all of us, Casey.
Make sure your keys are far away. That's all that matters.
This might be water.
Yeah, I don't need an excuse to drink, but I got one. But all right, let's get into these other ones. A road win in the SEC at night on their homecoming after 8 straight SEC losses. Relax, people. From Matthew Kocian.
Matthew, you got the right idea, brother.
Yeah, but people aren't going to relax.
Matthew, we play Kentucky, so I just wanna remind you about that.
They're a basketball school.
I hate when we do that. I understand. That's just like I get it, but we have to remind ourselves of who we're playing. Yes, we're in the SEC, but also SEC teams has a very lower ranked team too as well.
We have one, unlike the Big Ten that has like 5 or 6.
Yeah. So
and from another one from Matthew Koshin, this team showed they can win with an F-level performance. From Feel Smart, Niblett, Shipley, and Bo Meester are the MVPs of this game for sure. Hey,
100%.
don't forget about our man Colin Simmons and Ant Hill. Like they deserve shout outs too. They played some big games.
Yeah,
Collins had 5.5. Did he have 2.5 last week? 5.5 sacks.
5.5 sacks in the last 2 weeks.
Crazy. That's
that kid's turn, especially when they were saying he was off to a slow start this year.
Dude, I felt bad. If you watch those poor tackles on Kentucky, dude, Colin was just giving him a little shoulder and right past him.
Yeah,
every single time.
Man,
and he had 9 last year. Like he's
Yeah.
putting the resume together.
Yeah, I think he might. I think he's double digits for sure.
Dude's a beast. For another one from Feel Smart. Hopefully, this is a situation where we have the opportunity to learn and grow from the struggles while dodging the loss by the skin of our teeth. Yeah, that's all you can ask for.
That's all you can ask for.
Yep,
nothing really more.
And Hill said it. You'd rather learn from an ugly win than from a pretty loss.
Because I mean, ultimately, the way I look at it is like, unless you're going to make roster changes, then this is the group that has to grow up.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to.
This is a good one. I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this. From Longhorn Lounging, is this play calling or youth and experience and inexperience?
Both.
Yeah,
both.
Who was that said that?
From Longhorn Lounging.
Can we put a star or a like or something right there?
It's up there.
All right, perfect. Like
it's a little bit of both, but at the same time, it's like complementary to each other. It's like the coach is making some decent calls, but the play's not getting executed. So then, therefore, you got to dial back on some of the calls because of whatever the excuse may be. The offensive line is just having a bad day, or the receivers are not catching the ball, or a quarterback just not getting to the ball to our receivers. But at the same time, it's also about maturity. It's also about realizing that when we are struggling, we need one guy, just one guy to spark something.
That's all you need.
And we haven't had that one guy to make a spark. So
last week it was.
Well, we did. His name's Ryan Niblett. He just wasn't on the
opposite side of the ball.
Last week it was Wisner. He gave us a spark.
And Arch too.
Yeah, Arch kept finding him
to
check downs.
Sparks.
Yeah, no, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. I'm like, guess what, man? You got a chance to be 5-2 with everything still in front of you, and another opportunity next week.
100%.
Yep. From Davis Briggins, Ryan Niblett, my damn hero.
Yeah,
100%.
It boy's electric.
Woo. I like it now. He's gotten a little more courage to catch it, and he's making it like you know a little bit about this, Aaron. Like those guys are not far from him when he's catching something.
No, not at all.
Like that last one.
About
AJ used to be on the punt,
and I didn't last long. I was terrible at it. Everyone knows I dropped the OU punt. I dropped a couple other punts, and I was like, I was responsible and accountable. I said, Coach, get somebody else that's better because I ain't cutting it.
Yeah,
so.
That was I like it.
From Drew Yanez. If he lost the locker room, you wouldn't see the defense doing what they're doing. Stop with that. Yeah, I don't know who's saying that. Sark
I don't think he lost the locker room.
Sark or Arch? I don't know.
He's saying Sark. I don't think Sark lost the locker room.
Defense is gonna do what they gotta do regardless if Sark is lost the locker room or not. So I don't understand.
I don't think he lost the locker room. I think that's man. I think we are such prisoners of the moment, man.
Yeah.
Like for us to forget that over the last 2 years, you've put 23, 24 players in the draft. You've gone to the semis two years in a row. You won the Big 12 championship. You competed in the SEC championship and lost in overtime. Lost to Georgia, who ain't no slouch.
Oh, and I saw crazy comments about Sark. Get out of here.
And you're 5-2 this year with everything directly in front of you. Like, listen, let's just go on to the next one.
Yeah, look, guys, we are not paid by the university. We are not told to say stuff like just so you guys know. And we believe in this coach. And even if you're not happy with 100% of what he called or what he did, understand what you have.
That's
and
what I'm
understand.
saying.
And honestly, I wonder if some of y'all have been here for the last 10 years.
Exactly.
It's if you're complaining about.
Would
we had
you
some
would
rough
you
times.
would you prefer either of the last 2 reigns?
Yeah. And by the way, if your dream is to switch coaches, you got to rebuild, and everybody leaves, and everything changes, and that's not that's not even that's not even worth talking about. And I'm sure everybody will get hate on me for that, but whatever, I don't care. From Longhorn Lounge, and bet this will be the last time Texas doesn't pick up experience OL in the portal. We'll see, but it's still the same thing. I think regardless of if you're picking up experienced guys in the portal, they still got to gel together. Yeah. You've got experience on this line. You've got Cole Hudson. You've got DJ Campbell. Those guys have played games. You got Gooseby, who's played games, but it doesn't mean you're going to play well together. It's not automatic.
That's fair. I will say though, like it's going to be interesting to see this offseason, like what positions they do focus on. I agree. In the portal. Like
it's always fascinating.
Yeah, that'll definitely be interesting to me because I mean, up until this point, I think that we've been spoiled a little bit in the sense of like we've genuinely just developed our offensive line.
Well, and I think the other part that's hurting Sark is like he hit some home runs last year. Yeah. You got Matthew Golden come in, you got Isaiah Bond, you got these guys that turn, and you don't know what's going to happen. And look, Emmett Mosley's been banged up. He had a nice play today. Yeah. Like we still don't know what we're getting in some of these guys.
Yeah, and I agree.
Yeah, so I don't know. But from Jonathan Bruner, I gave Nibbler a hard time earlier this season with not fielding punts. Shout out to him last 2 weeks with the explosive plays.
Absolutely.
From Thomas Balderas, giving a shout out to Aaron. AJ is keeping it real.
That's all I don't know. I'm just giving y'all the same things that would happen. The same thing that did happen to me when I was playing is on the same love, the hard love I'm giving to these players. I know what it feels like to have an expectation of what you want in the season, and theirs is still going 5-2 is not that bad, but for it to go,
I'm glad to hear you say it.
Yeah, I mean SEC 5-2, but it's like when you know you're not performing at the talent that you're capable of playing, and then not only you harden yourself, but then you have the outside noise reminding you exactly what you're telling yourself every single day.
Yeah.
So I know where that's coming from, but at the same time, as an athlete, it's short. There's one is short-term memory, and 2 is maturity. Yeah. Is realizing that it's the downfalls are going to come. It's never an easy coast, an easy ride. It's never just uphill. There are going to be times where adversity is going to come in, and I feel like this team is definitely fighting those adversities. But it's going to show us how good and how well balanced this team is when they pass through that adversity.
Yeah. I love that.
I agree with that.
This is interesting. I want to hear y'all's thoughts on this from Mr. Miller. Speed up the offensive tempo. Too much to process for this young offense.
We can't speed up the tempo because if we speed up the tempo, we're going to get more flags. We're getting more flags. We're getting flags now at a regular tempo. So to speed it up is just going to cause a little bit more imbalance, I guess you would say.
Yeah, you can only play fast like that when
you're on them.
Major Applewhite used to always tell me, like, there's a difference between thinking you know and knowing you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you can only play fast like that when you know.
When you know you can, yeah.
You know, like I'm not. It don't matter what front they're in. I know exactly how I'm going to achieve my responsibility on this play, regardless of what front they're in. Yeah. Like, you know, if I'm a running back and I got pass pro to a leak out, it don't matter. You know, the late switch up from a 2 high to a 1 high. I know exactly what that means for my responsibility. Mm-hmm. That's the only time you can really start playing fast like that. And that typically comes from guys who have seen it a lot of different times.
And those penalty issues creeped in again today. We didn't cover that. 7 penalties, 50 yards.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
The good thing in the Oklahoma game was that we kind of solved it. And like you saw those situations not occur where we were putting ourselves behind the sticks. But yes.
The ones that were killing me was on the punts.
Oh my gosh, coming out of timeouts,
Man.
But Chris Bennett, Sark hit 30 wins in 2.5 years tonight. Yeah, people.
Congratulations. That's huge, by the way. That's not a small defeat by any means.
Yeah, 2.5 years.
2.5 years, and a year and a half of those were in the SEC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come on now.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's the main comments we got. Y'all got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
I want to give a shout out to all the people who are watching this live right now. We got a huge number, and it's 11 o'clock at night in Austin. So thank you, folks, for tuning in and checking us all out.
We know what they're doing.
By some of the comments, they're doing it hard.
Celebrating that Longhorn win is what they're doing.
Fans out there,
Celebrating it.
It's a
Don't
dub.
mind what we're saying up here. A win's a win. Celebrate that win because
Thank you.
next week's a new week.
It's so hard to win.
It is so hard to win.
It's so hard to win.
Just a little apology. We had a little bit of audio problems at the start, so we got it solved. But sorry to the folks who tuned in. They were on us pretty quick, and we got it solved. So
Well, we appreciate
We'll do
everybody
better.
tuning in. Thanks so much to 1300 The Zone for carrying this and for everybody listening out there, whether you're streaming, wherever you are. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll be back this week. I think we're going to drop a special little episode sometime this week. Plus, we'll have the preview for the Mississippi State game. So until then, appreciate everyone. Hook 'em.
We'll take an ugly loss over a pretty win. Ugly win over a pretty loss.
Yeah, you keep messing it up.
it's getting late. It's getting late.
I keep
I love
messing
it.
it up. It is getting late.